Hello everyone and welcome back to War Thunder. I get a lot of requests from people asking me what point distribution should I go with when I'm trying to upgrade my crews for ground forces, and I came up with 3 builds. This one that I'm going to be talking about in this video is the most creative of the lot and also the most balanced. By balanced, I mean if you want to be using both tanks and SPGs on that same crew, then this is probably the best one that you can use. Now then, let's get to it. So I came up with an objective of how I could make this most make sense. So say if you bought Golden Eagles and you were to spend 1,000 Golden Eagles to buy the biggest package, which is 17,500 crew points. At the moment there's a discount going on, it's 50% off and it's 500 Golden Eagles, but at normal price it's going to be 1,000. So once you've bought that a lot of Golden Eagles, you'll have about 17,500. For some reason, every crew slot of mine, even ones that I haven't even put tags on, have extra crew points and just a tiny little bit. This one had an extra 11. Now the name of this build is something that I call a 2850 balance build, and you'll understand quite shortly why. What we're going to start off with is dropping all our points into Vitality and raising everything on every crew member of Vitality up to 100. Except for the radio operator. We're going to raise it up to 80 and we're going to leave it there, and I'll explain why quite shortly. There is a reason for it. Next we're going to bring our keen vision up on all of our crew members up to 50. And again, there is a reason for it being 50. There's a pattern, you see. For keen vision, actually what happens is that whenever you add points, sometimes, according to how many points that you put in, the cost goes up. So for keen vision, every 5 points in the beginning, the cost goes up. See, it just went up to 2. Now when I reach 10 points, it goes up to 3. When I reach 15, it goes up to 4. What you find when you hit to 30 is that you'll be able to add 20, yes I'm saying 20 points, without the cost going up. So hence why we added all the way up to 50. Now for field repair, you're going to drop 28 points in it. And again, there is another pattern for field repair. What you'll notice with field repair is that it goes through a pattern of 2-3, 2-3, 2-3. So I add in 2 points, and then it changes. Now when I add in 3 points, it will change again. I add in 2 points, it'll change. 3 points, it changes again. This pattern continues all the way to 25 when it actually changes. It starts going from 3-2, 3-2, 3-2. So 1, 2, 3. That's 28. 2. Changes again. So hence why we're going to stop at 28. Under the tank loader, you're going to do the exact same thing with weapon reloading. You're going to bring it all the way up to 28 because it follows an exact same pattern as field repair. For tank driving, you're going to raise it up to 28, just like field repair and weapon reloading. But this actually follows a different pattern. Leadership is the same, and I'm going to explain what this pattern actually is. So for leadership, radio communication, and tank driving, they follow a pattern of 2-3, 2-3, 2-3, but then it changes. So it goes 1, 2, and then it changes. We'll change after 3 now. 1, 2, 3, changes. 2, it changes. 3, it changes. So it keeps on going like this until the third 2, which oddly enough then changes to a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then it changes. By the position where the fourth 2 would be, it then changes to a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then it changes. And from this point onwards, the pattern is all normal. It goes 1, 2, and then it should be a 3. So like I said with radio communications, you're going to raise that all the way up to 28 as well. Last but not least, we're left with targeting and range finding. Now this is where the whole thing comes into play. This is the reason why we lowered Vitality to 80 on the radio operator, so that we could make these 28. And there you have it. It's the 2850 build. All across the board, things are 2850 with the exception of Vitality, which is either at 100 or 80 for the radio operator. The reason why the radio operator has only 80 Vitality is because, well, quite frankly, the radio operator is probably the least useful crew member out of everything else. If he dies, then so what? You can't use your radio, and you're still going to be able to spot stuff anyway. I also didn't put in any points into machine gunnery, but again, there's a point for that, and the reason why is because your machine gun isn't going to do nearly as much damage as your large caliber main cannon. So that's the 2850 build, and it's the most creative one that I came up with, and I would say it's the most balanced one. So from 1,000 Golden Eagles, you have a crew level of 1,000 2,037. This is the most balanced build that I could come up with, but now here's the shocker and possibly the most disappointing part. For anything that has 28 points in it, effectively what you're gonna have is about a quarter of the maximum crew points you could have in that ability. Remember that qualifications component when you can actually expert or ace a crew? Remember, when you get expert, you get plus 30 points on just about all across the board with different things. With an ace crew, you get plus 50. So this is something that you have to realize. If you really want to max out your crew points, you're gonna have to either expert your crews, which you can at least do with Silver Lions, or you're gonna have to use Golden Eagles to get an ace crew all the way up to plus 50. And if you do manage to get an ace crew all the way up to plus 50, then you effectively get about 3/4 of that maximum effectiveness, and that should bring you in line. If not, if you have plus 30 from the expert crew, then that'll be just over half of the way there. So with the 2850 build, although it's balanced, it's not exactly the most effective depending on what role you're going, and thus I've also come up with two other builds, one for normal tanks, that includes tank destroyers, and the other one for SPGs. But I'll be talking about those two in separate videos. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, I hope you can leave a like, because as sad as this actually sounds, I actually did take notes to try and figure out these patterns, and well, I hope you enjoyed it. Until the next video, this is Krebs, and I'll catch you guys later.